Welcome to the JAMODI podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. What is your favorite culture building activity?
Well, of course, the way we do things and what we do is very important at Argyle. And I guess I'll do like most people and give you two different things. But the first one is an unbelievably negative thing, probably. But in the off season, we have a thing called Wonderful Wednesdays, and they're not very wonderful. They're unbelievably hard, and I think they're hard. And I haven't had many kids go play college basketball, but the ones that have all told me that what we did on Wednesdays was harder or as hard of anything that they had to go. They had just gone through it. But I started it, 20, 25 years ago. And it was, as kids move in and move out, and you have a different team every year. I found it harder and harder to get kids to all buy into togetherness and being the same thing. And so I just started this Wonderful Wednesdays, and I will tell them for 45 minutes, they have one common bond, and that's to despise me. They can buy in that together, and they don't like what I make them do and what they get to do together. And for 45 minutes, and then when they leave, they can talk about it. And I really think it helps bring us together and go through some things and know that no matter how bad it is, we are going to get to the end of it and be better because of it at the end. And so,
do you mind sharing a couple of things that maybe just a few things that your Wonderful Wednesdays, are made up of?
Yeah, we plan it over. So I've never taught on a block schedule. And so, we don't get the 60 minutes. So we've got about 50, 55 minutes in class, but by the time we have a class in the middle of the day, by the time they dress, and you got to get them out to dress. So it gets down to about 38 minutes probably.
Exactly.
To try to get through, and we use all of them. But the Wednesdays, we've got it down, and I've done it so long that there's a system. The kids kind of know what's going to happen that have been there for a while. But it's about a 32-minute system. And, so we work for 8 minutes, and we take about a minute break. And then we work for another 8 minutes, and we take about a 4-minute break. And then that at the first of this year, that's all we do. That first Wednesday is we just do 2 quarters, and we call them quarters. And then we try to build up. All right, hey, tomorrow this is going to be our first time to do 3. And we get to where we do 4, and then a little overtime by the end of it. And so there, of course it's running, and sometimes if now that we do it after school, we can't ever use the ball. And so we always stop, and we do a thing, we call it 100 trips. We do that with a basketball. We did it during the period. And so we make 100 trips in that 32 minutes, 4 25-minute segments. And it's 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-man passing, 4, all the things that you can do with a basketball, but we just don't stop running, doing those things. Not a whole lot of shooting type things, but just running. But a lot of it is just running. But we have a week where we do stations, and we do that a couple of times. We do a Syracuse running day that everybody has that 4-quarter system that they do. And then the last Wednesday, if nobody has asked, and we've kind of kept it a secret from the ones who are new, the last Wednesday, we just go out and play.
Nice.
And we play some speed football and some speed soccer. They get more tired on that day than they do ever. We actually moved to a new school this year, a new building.
Oh.
And didn't have a place to do that this year. And guys were not very happy with me because we just did some running on that Wednesday. But so that becomes, and my wife has always kind of made them cupcakes at the end, and we have Gatorade for them instead of just nothing. And so those kind of things at the end, and we really celebrate the seniors that's their last one that they ever have to do, and just kind of make that a big deal through off season. And that's kind of how we build.
I love that
through off season. And it's not a boot camp. I've heard of that kind of stuff. I guess it is, but it's just bringing them together a little bit more on it. And the kids who aren't there that day for whatever reason, Some of them are very good reasons. Some of them aren't very good reasons.
Some of them are strategic.
Yes, I do not have to police that.
Oh, wow.
The kids do that the next day when we showed up. One year we had a blood drive, and a kid chose to give blood in the morning. Well, then he couldn't do fourth period.
Right.
That didn't go over very well with me or the team. He could have gone after lunch because it was still then. He could have done that and then did it after. That's not a bad thing. Giving blood's an awesome service thing to do.
All right, but you got to be organized.
But for our kids, it was something that he chose to do instead of be with them. And so that's one thing that we do. I don't know if that's enough information.
Oh, it's great. And I like the fact that it's different things. So it's not, every Wednesday so we run a separator. It's 20 suicides in 20 minutes. I got from Calipari back in the day. Right. And, and we do that quite a bit, but the whole point is that for them to doing the same thing, they start to feel I can run faster. I get more break in between. I'm not dying like I did, but I like how you have the different ideas and variations from week to week. It may immediately when you said it made me think of the movie Miracle with the hockey. I thought, he's pulling Herb out there.
Yeah. And what we start with the very first day, they know it's going to be bad. Only 2 quarters. We set up trash cans around the gym because we know some kids aren't going to be ready, especially the new ones. We do revisit that at about week 8.
Okay.
Instead of 2, and we all ask them all the time how well, not that it's about weeks 5 or 6. Sorry, because we usually only have about 8 to 10. But anyway, they how much better do you feel now than you did the first day?
Yeah.
But
mental toughness comes from that. Feeling like, I can go farther now. And what's your second thing?
The second thing is I'm a huge proponent of overnight trips with our team to a tournament, even early in the season if we can do that, and just bring them together. I'm still the bus driver. I drive the bus to every game.
Nice.
So I really encourage. I don't mandate it, but I encourage our kids to ride the bus home, and that's our kids all do. I think they think that I've made them that it's a requirement, but it's really not. I'll never tell a parent they can't have their kid. I don't think that's
You'll lose that battle. You'll lose that. I don't want to do that.
But I do encourage them all the time because some of the best memories I've had are me driving the bus and they don't hear. They don't know I can hear them. And whether they're be singing or talking or building forts or whatever they're doing, is that I can hear our team change throughout the year. And so I think I think the overnight trips kind of help with that kind of bonding stuff. We do have some team dinners. I don't participate in those. Kids act different around me. Every once in a while, especially if we get deep in the playoffs, the parents will mandate that I kind of come. That it's a big deal. And the kids act like different than than they do around when they're by themselves. And so we do some things together as a group and all the things that other teams do as well. But I think those 2 things, the camaraderie developed in a locker room and on a bus after wins and losses is different. I think it's critical to just being around each other and having fun, so that you keep fun as that's an important part of what we're doing, is that it's supposed to be fun. Winning is more fun for me, but having fun is something that I want to encourage them to do.
I love the idea of them traveling together. And I think, we lost that in COVID. I don't know about you. We had them all go everybody go separate to everything. And being at a private school, it's a little bit different just because they don't live around each other anyway.
Correct. Right.
But I do think we lost a little bit of that, instead of after a game going home with your parents, and who knows what that conversation's like, getting to stay with each other and celebrate when it's a good night and maybe work out some things when it's not. Let me ask you this. So Tommy Thomas was my high school coach, and we didn't talk after losses. It was just, he would not allow talking after losses. We had to be silent. What is your approach to, now last year, if you can, 31-1 last year. So that one time, but
I'll think about it again. And like you said, it was Highland Park. So I should have known. That would have been no way.
We're better than you, and we know it. Like that's just the feeling I got.
And they were, but I really don't harp a lot on that. And that's going to be one of those things that I don't talk to my team after a game about the game. I don't do that. I want to watch the film. I want to separate a little bit. And that's so what they do on the bus, as long as they're not out of control. I just know that there's going to be the sun's going to come up the next day. I've lost a bunch of them, and we've got a chance to learn from it and get better. Now, I don't want them to be, and I've never had to address that. I don't think.
Yeah,
kind of crazy. If I did, it was an individual who was more trying to show out that he didn't get to play as much as he wanted to play, but that's not that hasn't been a problem. But I think it's important we're together after we don't win. I think it's important we're together after we win, but not so much talking about the game.
Yeah.
And
I think it's a great perspective that we can all remember is that, one, it's high school sports. Majority, and not all the guys have aspirations to play after. And we have to remember ourselves that our self-worth is not wrapped up in whether or not we lost as a coach. And so we can't have their self-worth be wrapped up in that either.
As much as I want Argyle to have one more point than the other team, right? And the kids that I teach, I do not love them depending on their math grade. And the same thing with this. I have to make sure that that's the same. However, I will say that the AAU select basketball, there's another tournament next week. I think that has changed throughout my career, that the kids, if I lose the first game of even a pool play tournament, there's a chance that I can still win the tournament.
Yeah.
I don't like that mentality in our drills, we try to win, and our practice, we try to win, and everything we do is trying to win, because I do think that's a dangerous thing that AAU brings, that even I talk to kids, we lost the first game, so we didn't even play hard the rest of them.
Yeah. Winning each game, it seems like there's less value in it. Like we kind of have a goal for each game. It's to be 1-0 at the end of the night.
Right.
Regardless of what's happened in the past or what's happening 2 or 3 hours from now in a tournament, you're like, just be 1-0 right now. So don't hold back, give your very, very best. Don't think about the future. And I do think I've coached select ball. It's hard in my own mind not to think, okay, this one's a little bit out of reach. We got a game in 3 hours.
That's right.
These guys come on out. Hey, like it's a real thing, but it is. There's a purity of what we're trying to do with high school basketball, that give your very, very best no matter what.
All the time. So I don't know if that answers everything.
But it's great. Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.